Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes. This is Kel.
And this is Misfit.
And we are here with our Stage 2 playoff preview. Here it is, boys.
Yeah.
We're almost at the halfway point. This is pretty much it. We got a lot of stuff coming up for you in this episode. We're going to talk playoffs, but before that, we got a few news items.
Yeah, we got little bits and pieces here and there.
And then a rumor that could have big implications and what we're going to do with that.
And all Overwatch, really.
Yeah, for sure.
What we're focused on, it's massive.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start. So they finally released the location of the grand finals. Now, it's going to officially.
Yeah, because we basically knew for about a week already.
Yeah.
A little over a week, actually. It feels like forever ago that we found out that it's going to be in Philly at the Wells Fargo Center, but
yeah,
it's awesome. It's going to be cool. I'm excited to see how this all plays out.
I kind of get the vibe of the NFL with this, where they're kind of touring it around like the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if you have a team in a fan base area, you're going to get the finals at some point. I would really like them to do it like they do the Super Bowl, where they don't have to
before the season even starts.
Right. They don't have to release tickets and all that stuff, but you can just start building the hype. Super Bowl. I mean, come on, Super Bowl 49 or whatever in Miami.
I mean, I feel
except
like
for when it's in Minnesota or one of those places, you're just like, oh, fuck.
I feel like that is something that they will do eventually.
Yeah.
But I think right now it's just like
it's logistics.
It's logistics. It's because I mean they're probably doing so much behind the scenes stuff as far as like getting ready for all the home games and all of that. So like there's a lot more they got to do before they can get to that. And then once they get the league more established, I think that will become the norm.
Yeah,
where probably either right after the season ends or even before the season ends, they'll announce where the next stage finals are going to be.
Even if they did it at like BlizzCon, like in their little their Overwatch League, whatever that thing is, forum.
Yeah.
What the hell? We haven't been to BlizzCon, and it's one of those
probably a panel of some kind.
A panel, that would be it. Yeah, panel.
But yeah. So that would actually be a good BlizzCon thing. Honestly, I feel like they should look into doing something like that. That would be a good kind of like halfway point. Keep things interested during the off season and all that.
And like before the championship match of the World Cup, just come out and say, okay, this year's Overwatch League finals is going to be in
Seoul,
Dallas or
South
Seoul
Korea.
It better be in Seoul at one point. Honestly.
I'm sure it will be. I'll be shocked if it's not.
Like the next one, I really think they should do that.
I think the next one, I feel like next year they're going to do an international one.
Yeah.
If they can, because if they can get to where everyone's able to travel pretty regularly, I think that'll be a lot easier. Like once you're in the league, you're set and you're able to travel between the things and there's not going to be any hiccups. Because I think that's probably why we had so many home games here this year, or like all the home games were all domestic, because you already know that they can travel within the United States. It's getting to other countries with an American visa. Like I'm sure before next year they'll have that sorted out so they can travel at will.
Yeah, they'll have all the logistical things figured out, and I also think too it's easier for the Blizzard, the people, the tech people, the hardware people that have to set some of this stuff up. It's easier to get to Dallas or Atlanta or well, maybe it's probably easier to get to Dallas than it is to get to fucking the other part of California that they're doing the damn Valiant thing. But then if have to fly them all out, and then I'm sure they're using equipment and all that kind of stuff. They're kind of traveling it around. Mm-hmm. Getting it to Seoul or China or something like that, or Paris or London, it would be a big hassle and a big cost right now that they probably don't want to incur.
Right. Well, I think also they're really focusing on the U.S. because that's a really important market where, like, once you're established in the U.S., it's a lot easier to expand because, like, you already know you have a following in Korea and China, but getting that, like, building up your base in the U.S. really is the most important part, and it's something that they very obviously have focused on.
Right. They're kind of, as much as we want them to say, or we want to say that they're following the NFL or Major League Baseball or NBA, they're kind of following the pattern of MLS.
Yeah.
As to how to build a fan base here. Mm-hmm. And you're going to see, there are going to be cities that you don't expect. Yeah, you start with your big cities. So you're in New York, Los Angeles, Dallas, Houston. But there's going to be cities like Portland or Columbus or stuff like that where you're going to get where they know there's an esports community.
Right.
Where they can build it bigger. And that's the next step, I think, in the U.S.
Yeah, for the U.S. for sure. And then obviously expanding more in the larger
globally.
Markets globally. Yeah, for sure.
I would think more in Europe, and I'm sure they'll go more into that. And
honestly, I won't be surprised if we get another Chinese team.
and another Korean team. Maybe even well, that's all speculation for 2021, I guess.
Right. Yeah, because they've said that they're not going to add any this year, but I think once, and it makes sense. They wanted to expand big this year, then get the home game set up, and then once that's all set up, then they can really kind of figure out where they're at and add more cities and all that.
In Midwest, United States somewhere, Chicago, Cleveland, St. Louis, something.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
So yeah.
Next.
That was big news. Cool things. So Dallas Fuel signed a player that will be joining them in Stage 3, and that is Trill, who was a main tank off of the Envious roster, which is basically Dallas Fuel's academy team. So that's kind of an interesting move for them. I know Trill has a pretty big following, so that's kind of why it was a big deal as like a streamer. So, and just like a Contenders player in general. So It's interesting.
It's very interesting. Ojk is going to need a rest at some point.
Right.
And they like the big namey people. They're Dallas.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, look at last year. They had Seagull and XQC.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it goes with the city, the brand, the whole Dallas thing. They got somebody that's popular, which is fine, and he's decent from what I've read and seen in the last little bit. I mean, I wasn't a big follower or anything like that of this guy. He could be also, like we were talking. He could also be someone that could play heroes, and this is speculation from us. Like he could be a good wrecking ball. He could have some things that Oj maybe doesn't do, or good on, a sub in on certain maps.
Right.
But
so it's interesting. It mostly just seems like a backup move, just to start. But interestingly, there was another announcement today there was something along the lines. So NRG Esports, San Francisco Shock Academy released their roster to make new players to develop directly under Shock head coach Krusty, implying an Overwatch League bench. So they basically got rid of everybody on their team so they can add new teams or new players to like kind of pull from.
Which is fantastic. Which is kind of what, I mean, it's kind of what I want the contender scene to be. I know a lot of people don't want that. They like the dynamics of it, but I kind of want it to be like minor league baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now it's like the Mayhem Academy has like all a mishmash of players, and they're talking all Korean. So they have no chance of going on the Mayhem. What they're using it for is basically a money, almost like a I don't know, like a money market. It's like a stock market thing. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it.
Because they can make a little extra money if they have a good academy team,
right?
By winning those tournaments,
right? And then you have players much like Runaway. They went as a whole package. That was not cheap.
Exactly.
And the owners of Runaway made a lot of money. Compounded that with the Mayhem. They have Mayhem Academy, and they have a bunch of guys on their team. And, say teams that are pulling North American players or Euro players or whatever they're doing, they're pulling someone off there and they're pulling buyout is.
Right.
They're making money back.
I do think that, especially with
they're farming money and not farming players, I guess, for their team. And
I think that's going to be, I will be shocked if there's not a rule implemented before next season that all these teams will be required to have an academy team, and it will be forced similar to baseball, and the contracts will be drawn up differently so they can call guys up seamlessly in case of guys not being able to travel or things like that.
Right.
Or maybe there's any number of things that could happen where you need to call a player up at any point.
Right. And just make it more viable like baseball.
Exactly.
And it's odd how we try to pull from different sports where Overwatch League, you could tell the guys involved with Overwatch and their esports, they're fans of professional sports globally because they're pulling different things from different
leagues.
Kind of the academy thing is kind of very European soccer, but kind of minor league baseball, and you got scheduling and stuff like that. That's kind of like football. You know what I mean? There's just all this stuff. They did their homework, I guess is what I'm saying. And they're trying to make this kind of a conglomeration of those ideals.
Right.
And to try and make this league really good. And, some of it is really working. I think it will make contenders more, viable of a viewing experience for people that are fans of teams, if that happens, because it's their future. It's like minor league baseball. I used to go to the Columbus games, and I would see guys, and I'm like, I'm going to see this guy in the Indians in 2 years. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now it's right now with contenders, it's we'll see him somewhere.
Right. One of those guys will end up with one of these teams at some point.
Yeah, someone will pick that guy up. It's not like that guy's going to be on my team and I'm so stoked that he's going to be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean,
exactly.
Really, the only guy that you knew was going to do that was Flower.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's really all we've gotten with that. All right, so real quick, I don't want to go on a whole big thing because we have a lot to say about the All-Stars.
Yeah.
But they just announced the bench for it.
And it should be the starting lineup, but anyway.
Yeah, it really should be. But
because you people do not know how to vote.
No, oh my God, right. We will definitely have a whole episode dedicated to that after the stage playoffs.
And I know that a lot of our fans are smart, so it wasn't you guys. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly.
Because from talking to you, I mean, the amount of times you've corrected us on things, I don't think you were the guys that voted for the starters.
We're definitely talking the general fan base of the league. So all the bench players who should be starters, and basically all it did was confirm that the Pacific is going to absolutely demolish the Atlantic. Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, my team got the Major League Baseball, you have to have a player thing. And we got Saya. So, yay us. We're the fucking Mariners from the 1980s. So that's fantastic.
It is. It's rough looking at some of these reserves for the Atlantic Division. I mean, when the best player is Mono and Neko.
Okay, I'm going to say something.
To Sinatra and Twilight. And actually, wait, what? Bumper didn't make this? Because OG did.
Well, all right, I'm going to say something. Bumper is, and I'm not equating him to Babe Ruth, he's the guy that you watch because, well, Babe Ruth was a god, and so is kind of Bumper is. OGE is the 300, going in baseball terms, hits 300, 325, 25 home runs, 119 RBIs. Bumper is 56 home runs, 250, and strikes out a good 2 times a game. He's he's Aaron Judge.
Yeah, like his slugging percentage is ridiculous, but he's batting. His
OBA is terrible.
Right, like he's batting like 250.
Yeah,
at the best.
But everybody's at the park to see him do something.
Exactly, because he's gonna crush the ball.
Yeah. Exactly.
If he gets a hold of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so it's fun. Okay, so one last thing we want to talk about, and we kind of touched on it in the last episode. And we're going to really hit on this. We want things to flesh out a lot more, but the rumblings keep coming about a lock 222. And if you guys pay any attention on Twitter or watch videos and stuff like we do, I mean, we all do. There's hints that these guys are throwing out. Like I said, Uber kind of, I don't want to say let the cat out of the bag, but it kind of was like, well, when the meta changes for stage 3.
Right.
And there's no patch the devs all said they're not doing any kind of, hero balancing or anything like that.
There's no more hero balancing on the horizon.
Yeah.
As of right now. So, something big. Yeah. And then, so we got another kind of tease with that that's a little more surefire. Basically coming from Slasher it was an interview he was doing on, I don't remember exactly what.
Was it like Cheddar Esports or something like that? It was like one of those.
Something along those lines, yeah. But anyway, he was talking with them. Yeah.
So
right. So this, like, he's not just saying this.
No, he's not. He's not that dude that disappeared from the scene.
Right. He's the guy that, I mean, he told us last week, like over a week ago, that the finals were going to be in Philadelphia, and we got confirmation of that today. Yeah. But he said basically that 222 is coming, and it's coming to the league first. Stage 3 will be lock 222, but we will not have it in game until later. My guess would be they're going to have to wait until the next season. And so I'm guessing 17? A lot of. Yeah, so I'm guessing there's going to be more changes to it, but I think they wanted to get 222 going right now because.
Yeah, because for in game, for the league, they can lock 222 and it would work.
Right.
But you have to flesh out a lot of things for in game, like SR for different roles and how you're going to roll queue and all that kind of stuff. And that's stuff we're going to talk about later.
Right, you can't drop that in mid-season either.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, hey guys, I know you did all your placements and everything, and you're where you're at, but
sorry, Zarya mains.
Right, exactly. So yeah, there's a lot more logistics to it, and then also I think they wanted to give the teams as much heads up as possible with this, because this is a major change. It changes everything. It's basically forcing GOATs out completely.
Yeah, and it's necessary.
Absolutely.
Because
and then on
you
top
guys
of
watch
that,
the matches, and we were talking about this. The Blizzard Arena is a graveyard right now.
It really is.
Like, they have to yell at the crowd to make any kind of noise. The signs aren't like they were last year. Like, the thrill is gone kind of thing is going on there. And honestly, it's because nobody's playing Widow. Nobody's playing Genji. There's no hero moments.
Right.
I don't necessarily like it, but if you guys watch any kind of professional sports, they work out super defensive things at a certain point because it's just not good for fandom.
The game, for the product that's on the field.
Yeah.
Like,
they've done it in basketball, hockey, football,
literally baseball. Every sport. They're doing it in baseball. Yeah. That's why the DH exists.
Yeah.
They were one of the first ones to do something like that.
Before I was even born.
Right.
They lowered the mound because there was a point in the late 60s where the Triple Crown winner was Carl Yastrzemski. I used to get really into baseball stats.
Mm-hmm.
He hit 305, 25 home runs, and I think he had 98 or 100 RBIs.
Ew.
That was the Triple Crown winner. There was
okay.
There was a pitcher, Bob Gibson. His ERA for the whole season was 1.12.
Holy shit.
Imagine that.
Right.
And, it happens in football. It happens in basketball. It happened in hockey. It's happening in the Overwatch League. Goats is the be-all end-all football scenario.
Goats is basically 80s football when they would the best teams literally threw it maybe 10 times a game.
Yeah. Run and play defense. And there were a couple of, the Dolphins were the Chengdu Hunters.
The Steelers from then.
Like in the 70s?
The Steelers, 70s, the Steel Curtain.
The Raiders, the Vikings were the Vikings were the Chengdu Hunters. And you know what? They lost 4 Super Bowls
right.
in the 70s. So
then you had, who else? I mean, the Browns were even that way. You had 2,000-yard rushers. I mean, two 2,000-yard rushers, excuse me.
Yeah, on one team.
On one team. That's how much they ran the ball. I think it was a 25% throw, 75% run.
Yeah.
Smash mouth football.
Smash mouth football. That's what this is. This is smash mouth football, and they want to bring it into. It's exciting to a certain group of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exciting to the masses.
Exactly.
To me, even in Overwatch, I don't mind watching goats. I like doing the mental game of. So are they gonna do all right? They got 5 ults up. Are they gonna drop? Grav and then do a diva bomb, or they also have shatter, so they could shatter a bomb, or they could shatter and then maybe save their, you know what I mean? There's that,
right.
But majority of people want to see heads get clicked.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and we'll dive way more into this later.
Yeah, for sure. As we get more info, and as we get further confirmation that this is what's going on. We'll give you a lot more of our takes on that. So expect that during this time between stage 2 and stage 3. But we got more pertinent things to talk about right now because Thursday, stage playoffs start.
Yes.
First game is going to be Shanghai, San Francisco.
Yeah, baby. I love
Shanghai
this stuff.
making their first appearance.
I'm rooting for them.
Same. I want him to take a couple of maps because we know San Francisco is they are on a war path right now, and none of us have ever seen.
I don't know if you guys watch Oversight. Please do.
Yeah, it
has Thorin and Monte Cristo, and they usually have a couple of guests. This week's episode they had Gunbo from the Boston Uprising coach, and they had Baby Bay on. But they got into this whole thing about stats with towards the end with the Shock. This is how good the Shock are right now. They get killed, and Zoe dug this out.
Yeah.
Of the stat database because they dump stats. Monty said, they have a big stat database because Captain Planet's amazing. Any kind of stat that dude throws up on Twitter, I'm all about it. I'm yes, that is amazing. Right. Keep doing this. I wish we could all have access to this. So San Francisco gets killed first. It doesn't matter the hero. 33% of the time. When that happens, they win 42% of the time. That is absurd. Fucked up.
Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. New York would have a 0, well, not 0, but they don't fight with 5v6, they back out. Right. Basically what it's saying is we still can do this. We're this good. Let's go.
Right.
And then they also win 85% of the time when Super dies first.
Insane. That
Shanghai's got their work cut out for them, in other words.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we knew that. I would be super happy for Shanghai just to get a map win. And
I'm just going to be glad to see him in this position. And if all this hearsay and all the whispers happen.
Right.
I think Shanghai has a good chance to move up with the DPS and other, and their support line.
Shanghai benefits greatly from these changes.
There are a lot of teams that do, but I think they can do something. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they can do a lot. Right. But I think if they come out and they work on some things in that, look, if you're self-aware and you do San Francisco is just really good. They're like Vancouver. They can adapt. Mm-hmm. It's like playing the Borg. Eventually they figure out what the fuck you're doing and they kill you. If you could take a couple of maps from them I don't like the word cheese. Sometimes cheese is outsmarting the other guy.
It is. 100%.
It's cheese. It's cheese if you're on the other end.
Right.
If someone's we've all played in that match. In fact, I played in one last night on the new map. So I was on attack with my team, and we're going out, and I was on a team with fucking high level players, which is fucked up because it was an arcade. And I was like, I'm going wrecking ball. They're like, all right, cool. So the other team was way lower than everybody except for me. Mm-hmm. They went Orisa, Symmetra, and Torbjorn in the building that's like up the street. Yeah. And even the high level dudes I was with, we had to switch into a different comp because we could not beat the cheese. It was cheese to us. It was them being smart. Going, looking and going, we're not going to beat them like in a regular fight. Exactly. So I think this could be. I think it could be a good match. This is good. Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be. I'm hoping for better, especially after they just played each other too. Yeah. I think that's going to play a factor in this. So that's huge. I'm looking at. I'm going to go San Francisco 3-1. Yeah. That's about what I was thinking. San Francisco takes it 3-1. Basically a gentleman's sweep. Yeah. But we'll see how it goes. I'm pulling for Shanghai. But San Francisco's just they're on another level right now. That's actually believing San Francisco actually played a gentleman. Yeah, true. So moving on to the second game on Thursday, we have Hangzhou versus London. Oh. This is probably the most up in the air match that we have this whole week. Especially the way Hangzhou's been playing. Yes. It is really, I really don't know how they're going to play because London has been playing really well, but then they had that really terrible game last week. So were they just kind of sandbagging because they already knew they were in the playoffs? Is that what we got? Yeah, that's the mystery with that. Right, just trying stuff just to do it because, hey, we're already in the playoffs. What does it matter? Yeah, let's mess around and see if we can beat these guys. But exactly. I don't know what they did, but I think we're going to get a lot more 3-3 in this one. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they haven't released the... I think does the higher the higher seed picks the map. Never mind. Yeah. So, and I think they can pick from whatever maps whatever are in control the pool. Map you want. Yeah. So whatever is in the current pool in the stage, I think is what they can pull from. So you think London's going to pick Oasis? Just to get it over with? Yeah. Or is that just a last year thing? I don't know. They haven't looked horrible on it this year. They really haven't. Yeah. It's not like it was last year where they just got worked every single time. What did you guys do for 6 months? We played Oasis. Right. But seeing what Hangzhou is going to pull out is going to be really interesting. Yeah. This could be goats heavy, but this could be kind of divey goats between each other because both of these teams are much better. I think you get a lot of Vincent goats for sure. Oh, for sure. Just going by gesture and Gushui. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you're going to see some really nice, weird things go on at some point. I can't go against Prophet. Yeah. But I think Hangzhou is going to, I think this is going to be a good match. It's one of those, I always say that, not always, I get into the last map is going to matter thing. Right. And you might get a 3-1, but it's going to be 2-1 going into that, maybe.
Right, with the possibility that like whatever team is down 2-1 can pull it up. But yeah, I'm thinking
it could go 5 though.
I think it could go 5, but I am going to go London. Takes it in a close 3-1.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. Because
I think they just edge out because I feel like they're really starting to find a groove, and this is just kind of what they need to get back into their mindset of winning.
Yeah. As good as Hangzhou's supports are, I like Bedosin and Nuss, and then you throw in Prophet and Fury.
Right.
And like having Gesture Prophet plays a lot of Winston.
Just having Prophet in general, like it doesn't matter what character he's playing, he's going to be a difference maker in some way.
I mean, I said it on stream. By the end of the year, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen, but if GOATs continued, he would be the best Zarya in the league.
Right. But honestly, it's getting to the point where he's, I think, a dark horse for MVP.
Yeah.
Because look at how much better they looked when he switched to Zarya. And then
now he's comfortable.
And then if you go 2-2-2, I mean, you get that guy to play whatever DPS he gets to play. Jesus. Like,
yeah. And look, guys, when it goes 2-2-2, you know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be dive.
Exactly.
And the teams that are good at dive are going to resurface.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be dive, but I don't think it's going to be as completely dive.
For some teams, it's going to be dive.
For sure. New York and London, I think, are going to absolutely revert back to that.
Yeah. Which is fine for them.
Yeah.
And you can even Seoul could go back. I mean, there's a lot of teams that can go back into dive and have no problem with it.
Right.
But other teams are going to fuck the system.
Oh, yeah. In this match particularly, I think London still has a slight upper hand just because of their experience. But I do think that this is going to be a lot closer than the final score will most likely indicate.
Yeah, I do too. I think Hangzhou is going to show up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might get taken in the first map.
Yeah.
Just because of it,
kind of come out with a surprise type of thing.
Yeah, and I just think that they could have jitters and all that kind of thing. And London's been there like a million times, and they're like, to me, they're like the most relaxed team in the in a playoff scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you get them in the playoffs, they're just kind of like that team that's like, yeah, okay.
They just flip a switch, like, okay, we're good.
We're good. Whereas, we're here.
And in the regular season, when they don't have any pressure, is when they make the really baffling mistakes.
Yeah. But when the pressure's on, they're just like, oh, yeah, here we are. This is all right. It counts now. Okay.
Right. Exactly. All right. So let's move on to Friday. First game of the night. We got New York, Los Angeles Gladiators. How we feeling on this?
Indianapolis versus Los Angeles. Let's see.
Pretty much. Right. I think this is this.
Man, after watching
somehow play the Colts versus the Cowboys, if that was ever a thing that was possible in the playoffs. Wow. That's what the Gladiators are to me right now. They are a really good regular season team that just can't hack it in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, and
I like this team a lot.
And they're playing the team that does the same damn thing.
Exactly. And that's why I'm kind of leaning towards the Gladiators in this, because that's what Dallas always did. Like, they would win that first round game and you're just like, oh man, look how good they're gonna do so well. And then they're gonna play a true contender and get absolutely mashed.
I don't know what to think. After watching them play Atlanta and seeing it play out for the 6,000th time, and them not figuring it out yet.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you pressure Jonak because he just throws Trance out like at the drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm.
They can't handle not playing their own game.
Exactly.
Which the Gladiators are fantastic at getting you out of your game.
Mm-hmm.
Or playing your game if they want to go that route.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of situations where you're going to have to play GOATs, but the thing is they're not they tried being aggressive against Atlanta in the first game and it failed.
Oh, they got mashed when they tried to go aggressive. Yeah. So they just are not great at doing that, and it's really interesting to see.
They're too slow.
Yes.
At the way they play. The Gladiators are like in that middle zone where they can kind of play around with you and see where you're at. Mm-hmm. I just like what the Gladiators are going to throw something out at them because they know, and everybody knows, if you get them out of their game and out of their comfort zone, they're terrible.
Right. And I 100% expect the Gladiators to pull something like that out.
I'm not even calling this an upset if they beat them. Yeah.
I don't think you can anymore.
No. And it's not that I'm sour on New York. They're a great team.
But as things are playing out right now, they are not a good aggressive GOATS team, and that is the type of play that is what elevates the best teams above the rest.
The Gladiators can play aggressive. They can also play cheesy strats. I think they're going to throw a couple of wrinkles in there. It's going to freak New York out. And basically watch what Atlanta did to them.
Right.
They know that there are a steadfast, hardcore, we're going to play GOATS because it is the percentage winning thing. Mm-hmm. And Baby Bay even said it. He said, on Junkertown, when we came in an attack, we knew they were not going to even waver from GOATS. I'm using a lot of extra words for Baby Bay here. He was like, yeah, we knew they were going to do that. And we ran triple DPS and we just, we murdered them. The Gladiators are going to do the same thing. You might see something different like May and Doomfist, but they're going to do something that's going to throw them out of their zone.
Right. It's going to be a similar result, just a different process of getting there. I'm thinking, honestly, I'm saying Gladiators win 3-1.
Yeah, I think so too. Because New York can't handle it when they get down either. Yeah. They're not, outside of the dive realm, they can't clutch.
No, they don't. And they don't have.
Their clutch players are strapped into roles that they can't
be clutch
in.
Yeah.
And it's easy to exploit Jonak's weaknesses more in GOATS than it is in dive.
It is. There's that. There's also, I think, as great of a tank as Mono is,
he gets abused.
I really think, he gets abused because he is a very defensive Reinhardt. That's you need a really top tier Reinhardt or Winston, and even his Winston is very.
It's calculated.
Yeah, it's too calculated.
Yeah,
and it gets them into trouble because. People know exactly, he basically telegraphs exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah. You know what he's going to do the whole time. It's not like playing against someone like Oj or Super or Bumper that are top tier that are coming at you aggro. Mm-hmm. You can't react to what they're going to do because you don't know what they're going to do.
Exactly.
Oj is a little more calculated than maybe Super and Bumper. They are very aggressive.
Exactly.
And they force you into situations that you don't want to be in, playing in GOATS where everybody thinks it's defensive.
Mm-hmm. And just the wonky things that the Gladiators will be able to put out on them, I think is going to it's going to give New York fits.
I think so too. And I think, I think that the only guy that I think that New York has, other than Jonak, because he doesn't count, has the advantage on is Mono.
Yeah.
Or, Mono. Off tank. He's better than Void. That's the only guy I think that can maybe clutch some things out, maybe eat some grabs. He's really good at that. Mm-hmm. I think that's their only chances for him to really bring it to the next level. Maybe. And Jonak do some Jonak things. But I'm with you on this. I like the Gladiators.
I'm just not seeing it from New York right now.
No.
I think
I've been burned too many times.
They're basically they're waiting for the meta change so they can go back to playing dive.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the final match of the first round. We got Dallas versus Vancouver. How many maps does Vancouver win in?
3-1. I think Dallas takes a map.
I think so too.
Dallas is kind of on a high, like, confidence-wise.
Yeah.
So I think they can hang with them, so I think they will do something.
I think Dallas kind of throws them a curveball in the first map, and because I feel like they'll kind of expect whatever map is going to start, they're going to look at that map extensively, and they're going to pick apart everything about that particular map, and they're going to take that, and then they're just not going to have enough preparation to continue that, and Vancouver is going to adjust to whatever Dallas did in that instance, and roll from there.
Yeah. The key thing in this is watching Bumper and Oj. I think that's going to be fantastic.
Oh, for sure.
In a playoff scenario, because I know Vancouver like clocked them in the
they did.
First stage. But I think now, I think Dallas has got some confidence. They've gotten, more cohesive playing this meta. Going up against Vancouver doing 3-3 is kind of dumb, going straight at them.
Right.
But but Dallas can pull some stuff out. That's the thing. Dallas can do something weird. They do things weird once in a while. They can do, a cheesy strat here and there, or run a DPS thing. But beware Vancouver's adaptability that no one ever talks about. They just think they're a 3-3 team.
And they can, but that's the thing is like they can stay on 3-3, but adjust to the way that they play it to take advantage of the mistakes, and it's incredible what this team does. Yeah,
and maybe Bumper switches out from Ryan to Winston, or you get like a Moira occasionally in, or an Anna instead of Zen.
Yeah,
but they keep the core of it together, and then if you want to go DPS, they will. You're still in trouble, but I think Dallas can take a map.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they take the first map, and then Vancouver rolls.
Vancouver does what Vancouver does, and then by the fourth map, they're fucking Bumpers on Hanzo.
Right. Exactly.
Well, to me, honestly, what that says is the amount of time these guys put into the game, that they can go into a pro match and do reasonably well on a role that they don't play.
Right. It's insane.
Yeah, because someone was saying, like, on something I was watching, that scrimming against Vancouver is fine, and then but if they're better, they think they're better than you by a lot, they start, they switch roles. They
start trolling you, basically.
Yeah, basically. They're styling on your ass, even in scrims.
Right.
Which is hilarious.
It really is.
But they don't give you any sense of like what you're scrimming against, but you're getting practice and you're still getting owned. I don't know. Yeah. So where do we think the next rounds are going? We'll just. I mean, obviously.
With that, we would have, I believe, with who we picked, we would have LA versus the Shock, and then London versus Vancouver.
London's
it would be reverb. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it would be.
Oh, London Gladiators would be saucy. No, it wouldn't. Yeah. It would reseed. They would reseed. So it would be Vancouver, San Francisco, London Gladiators.
Oh God, that would kind of be terrible, honestly. Because then you would just have.
Wait. Vancouver would play. Yeah, you were right the first time. Vancouver
because they would reseed to be record instead of
1-4, 2-3.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were right the first time. That'd be an interesting match, though, the Gladiators in Vancouver. I think that'll be fun.
But I think finals is going to be Vancouver Shock.
Yeah.
Like,
it's I still have faith in my boy Prophet.
I'm really leaning towards San Francisco taking it, honestly.
So am I. They want blood.
They really do.
I'm not going to... I'm gonna root for London and Shanghai just because. Well, I'm gonna root for Prophet because he's like my boy Derek Jeter. He is.
Yeah.
He's got that stupid grin, the whole thing, like all relaxed all the time. I mean, he could have the biggest nerves in the world, but he's sitting there, he's like, yeah, I'm going to do something. Watch this. You guys aren't even going to be expecting it, and I'm just going to do something fucked, and you're going to be done.
Yeah.
But I still think it's going to be San Francisco, Vancouver. And I think San Francisco takes it.
Yeah, I do too. I think they're just out for blood. I think
I'm going to call it,
too. It's going to be a really close one again.
I'm going to call it 3-1 San Francisco.
No, it would have to be 4-1. Or
4-1, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go 4-1.
I'm thinking 4-2. I think it goes to 6.
I don't think San Francisco lets it go that far.
I don't think it goes to 7. I think I think there will be, but like
I'm cursing San Francisco right now as we speak.
I'm thinking that there's going to be a map that is so close that like Vancouver is going to win on like a ridiculous play by like Janu or Twilight or somebody. Yeah, like just some like, how did you get that many picks with your freaking bomb right there? Or like,
what the fuck did Twilight just do?
Seoman Su gets like a ridiculous grab, and Twilight is just like perfectly there, and a nade, bam, like there goes team wipe, and they like save a point or move one to a point that, or like to get a final point or something like that. I think is going to get them that second map win, but I think that will just get under San Francisco's skin even more. Yeah,
I think so too. But that being said, I wouldn't be shocked if no pun intended, if the Titans won. But they're better in San Francisco. But I think San Francisco's on a mission.
They are 100%. And I think this is inevitable pretty much.
Baby Bay kind of said as much.
Yeah.
He said these kids are like determined to like just take over the world.
Yeah.
Because they set a culture there. They were talking about culture and teams and all that. And this is just a side note, but he said they started, scrimming and stuff, well before the season. And it's all about excellence. And Krusty's Korean. So, and guys, this isn't a stereotype thing. This is a cultural thing where they actually believe in practice makes perfect, not practice till I'm tired and I go to fuck home and play Fortnite. Anyway, what I'm saying is it's different culture.
Yeah.
But the Shock players are buying into it. They got guys that are, they have that drive to, I want to fucking annihilate everybody. And if I have to stay up 15 hours playing this game to figure it out, I'm going to do it.
And like, I'm not just going to play. Like they're scouring every little thing to be better at every single possible aspect that they can be.
Yeah. Cause like, and I keep going back to Baby Bay. Like another thing he said, he's like, look, last year, he goes, I was there 2 hours early, like before the season started. I was there 2 hours early before scrims. We started playing bad, and I just lost interest because we were getting fucking rolled. And he said when Krusty came in, he's like, where's the guy that I saw in the first stage of the season where you were owning everybody? Everybody was afraid of you. Now you're not even playing.
Yeah.
Basically saying, dude, you have the potential, work.
Yeah. And you're so much better than what you're playing right now.
And he said he worked, like throughout the offseason and all that. And he got back into that grind. Mm-hmm. And, he didn't get into the lineup. He's like, I got, traded to Atlanta. And it, he was like I'm paraphrasing stuff he said, but it worked out in the end. But, sometimes you lose your drive. And the other guys on that team, he was saying, do not lose that drive at all. And he's like, especially like Rascal. He's like, Rascal is the clutch. That's why Architect's not playing. Rascal just wants to fucking win all the time.
He's just got that. He's just so much more determined than anybody else.
He's that guy, like in baseball, that is terrible at 2-0, but you get him to 0-2, And he always gets on base.
Yeah, he somehow manages to get on base or like just hits off like 10 pitches in a row.
Yeah. He's like I'm going to go Yankees. He's like a Paul O'Neill. That guy, you just cannot get him out.
Right.
In the certain situation. He's going to fall off 9 pitches he doesn't like, and then someone's going to crumble, and it's not going to be him.
Right.
And you're going to lose. All right, guys. So that is the Stage 2 playoff preview. Don't forget to hit a like and subscribe if you are on YouTube. Thanks a lot for all of the views and all the comments and stuff. We really enjoy, you guys interacting with us. Also, don't forget, Sunday, we're going to do a map. We're going to do a match, comment, watch along on stream. It might be both of us, might be one of us at any given time, in and out, because it's probably going to be pretty long. And then right after that, we're going to hit the Sunday back cap, talk about all the playoffs. So definitely watch social media, see where we're at with that. And just so you know, I know one of you guys was saying we should stream. We do stream the Sunday back cap every night, in case you guys don't know.
Yeah, we do that every Sunday night, usually around 10:30. But yeah,
GOT dependent.
Exactly.
For right now. Next 2 weeks, it's going to be at 11.
Yeah. And then after that goes back, it'll be a little earlier.
Yeah. But this next one we'll do right after the match.
Yeah. So this one is going to be pre-Game of Thrones. So we're going to stream during the match, talk about it, and then post-game
kind of just like
back cap. So
running commentary. We want you guys to get involved, come in, talk with us, you know, about what's going on. And then we'll, dive into the rest of the games and all that stuff in the week, and then see what happens on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And then, luckily the last episode's on the All-Star game. That's all I gotta say.
Right. Exactly.
Well, they'll run that in the afternoon at some point. It'll be on way before that.
Yeah.
Just be around for that. Any of you guys that are on any of the podcasting sites like iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, or whatever your podcatcher of choice is, thanks a lot, and feel free to hit a rating and also comment on there. Guys, we will be back on Sunday with a match viewing party kind of thing. We'll open up, the chat's always there and all that stuff. So definitely come on in, talk to us, watch those social media, see what we're talking about, join in, and we will talk to you guys later.
Catch you guys in the next one. Later.